Good afternoon and welcome from Step Up Live. Today, the focus we are focusing on is how our community members can connect with the community, build relationships, and grow oneself. Today, we will be hearing from Savannah's own Deborah Simmons and Iris Bryant, who will discuss home ownership and tax assistance resources and how these resources can jumpstart our journey to wealth building and financial security. Step Up Savannah as an agency was established in 2008 as the city's poverty reduction initiative. We act as the convener, advocate, collaborator, and capacity builder to build a community where economic inclusion is the norm, because we believe our community is one where all have hope and opportunity, we challenge injustice, and we step up to create a more economically inclusive community. Step Up has several direct services programs that you can see on the screen here. First, we have the AmeriCorps Vista program, and that program is one where we have volunteers that are placed at local nonprofits to help build capacity. We also have a robust workforce development program called the Chatham Apprentice Program. And this is a program where unemployed and underemployed individuals have the opportunity to gain meaningful employment, making livable wages. We also facilitate the Neighborhood Leadership Academy, and this academy is where community leaders are able to increase their skill sets and they are empowered to create change in the communities they live. Many go on to become to run for office, serve on boards, and start nonprofits. We also have a Working Family Network, which is a space for the social safety net providers to share resources, ask for help, and participate in professional development opportunities. We serve as the intermediary for the region's public benefits program, where 10 agencies assist with SNAP, Medicaid, CAPS, WIC, and TANF applications, renewals, and case issues with the in the partnership with the local and state DFACs, and we participate in benefits collect advocacy. Last but certainly not least, we also have a financial literacy program called Level Up, where the participants in the program become investigators into their own lives, and we assist them in creating bridging and social capital to encourage economic mobility and self-sufficiency. And along with this program, we also do financial literacy classes such as that today. To learn more, please visit Step Up Savannah on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. It is important to prelude this conversation today with discussing asset poverty. So asset poverty is much different than income poverty or utilizing the federal poverty limits. Asset poverty takes into consideration all assets, which include the cash benefits, food stamps, child care subsidy, CAPS, and Medicaid, and is defined by the household's inability to provide for their basic needs for a period of 3 months. In this chart here, we can see that the asset poverty rate is much higher than the income poverty rate. And in households of color, this rate is actually double. Black populations are the most affected by asset poverty. So if a family's total income is less than the family's threshold expenses, then that family and every individual in it is considered in poverty. The traditional poverty definition uses money income before taxes and does not include capital gains or non-cash benefits, such as the public housing, Medicaid, and food stamps. On the flip side, asset poverty takes into consideration those expenses. And as we stated in this conversation today, we will learn that homeownership and the VITA program and other programs in our community can help build up families' net worth and decrease the likelihood of asset poverty. It is also important to highlight children in poverty. The list here in the table shows a child's projected income if they grow up in some of Savannah's low wealth communities. These children are projected to receive between $16,000 and $23,000 by the time they're 35, which will continue the generational poverty trajectory and is very disheartening. The good news is that through wealth building programs such as the Savannah Dreammaker program, home ownership assistance programming, and VITA, we can change this trajectory for these children. Due to the asset poverty reality, we know that home ownership is key for low and moderate income families to build wealth and achieve financial stability. Holding assets such as a home is an important source of security against sudden income disparities, such as sudden job loss and other income shortfalls, as well as spikes in expenditures, such as medical expenses or groceries. For higher income families, asset accumulation is encouraged through tax incentives and breaks, college savings plans, and medical savings accounts. However, low-income families are less likely to invest in these incentives, education, home, business, or retirement due to their income and the need to put that income towards their everyday basic necessities. Further, we know that the largest barrier for home ownership is the individual's inability to save enough for a down payment and closing costs. We know that combating the barrier with small investments and down payment assistance support and providing affordable home ownership opportunities is highly beneficial to wealth building. And the good news is that we have these assistance programs right here in our community. So the Savannah Dreammaker program, volunteer income tax assistance, and neighborhood improvement association services can help provide resources for homeownership affordability. I want to take a brief moment here to hone in on how the volunteer income tax assistance program helps to build wealth. First, VITA gives low-income earners a step up because we know they will receive a significant amount of their income back when completing a tax return. VITA is a great benefit to those earners because it provides an upwards of $300 in savings because the service is free and does not require paying an accounting service to complete the return. The VITA program has highly trained individuals that can help guide individuals to important tax benefits and credits, such as what we talked about last week with the child tax credit and earned income tax credit benefit. In addition to providing free tax assistance, they also connect families to other free resources, such as credit counseling, banking relationships, and other important community resources. And lastly, but almost most importantly, is that the VITA program and receiving these tax return income provides a healthy alternative to predatory lending. It is my pleasure to introduce today's subject matter experts, Ms. Iris Bryant and Ms. Deborah Simmons. Iris Bryant is the lending coordinator with the City of Savannah Housing and Neighborhood Services Department. It has been with the city for over 6 years. Prior to working with the city, Iris worked for Bank of America for 30 years and has spent her career helping individuals become homeowners and is currently helping individuals through the Savannah Dreammaker program. Ms. Deborah Simmons is the Director for Neighborhood Improvement Association. She manages over 13 stationary and mobile volunteer income tax assistance sites. 5 of these are in Chatham County, 2 are in Bryan and Richmond counties. 1 is in Camden, Ware, Effingham, and Liberty counties. She also manages 10 site coordinators and 100 volunteers. Under her leadership, the VITA program saves taxpayers millions in tax preparation fees and helps them receive additional millions in refundable credits, which increase their refunds. She is a HUD certified housing counselor and manages the first time home buyer program, where she facilitates classes with partners and educate future homeowners on the steps required and assistance available for purchasing an affordable home. She also oversees the housing development program in which NIA builds homes. The City of Savannah and other partners offer down payment assistance, making the homes affordable for low to moderate income owners. Deborah has been with NIA since May of 2015. I will now turn this presentation over to Ms. Deborah Simmons to discuss the Neighborhood Improvement Association programming. Ms. Deborah?
Oh, okay. Hi, I am Deborah Simmons, as she said, and our organization, Neighborhood Improvement Association, was founded by former Mayor Dr. Otis Johnson. And we have 3 asset building programs in which Kimberly has already talked about them. The Voluntary Income Tax Assistance, which is the free income tax program that we offer, in which people can receive their earned income credit and child tax credit, first time home buyer classes, and we are affordable housing developer. Volunteer VITA, again, is first time, is free tax preparation that we offer, and it is given to anyone who needs help. We primarily look at individuals who receive $57,000 or less, persons with disabilities, seniors, limited English speaking taxpayers, individuals living in rural communities. And we have, in this particular area, we have 4 communities in which we target. That's Chatham, Liberty, Bryan, and Effingham counties. And there are several benefits to this program, because a lot of times when you see something and it's free, you may think, oh, there's a gimmick. There is no gimmick. As Kimberly said, all of our tax preparers and screeners are IRS certified. We have various sites open throughout tax season so that it can fit the schedule of the taxpayers. We have help individuals who are unbankable. We help them to open debit cards accounts so that they can put their refund on there. And we have sites that are open year round. So if you have any questions after tax season, we are there to help you with any questions that you have. And we also help with the stimulus payments and the child tax credit for anyone who did not receive them. And again, all of this service is free. So now I want to show a video that tells you a little bit about what happened when someone is denied when they're denied home ownership in order to build generational wealth.
Welcome back to CBS Mornings. Over the past 2 years, we've done a series of stories on wealth in America, including the role of race. The typical black family has only a fraction of the wealth of the typical white family. And many experts say that the root of that problem is real estate. In an earlier story, that brought me back to the county where my grandfather bought a house way back in 1953, an investment, by the way, that has skyrocketed in value. Well, this morning we are sharing another experience, that of a black family that had been hoping to make a similar purchase in the very same county. And what happened next?
And that's the end of a fairly busy day on the New York Stock Exchange.
1964 was a record-breaking boom year for the U.S. economy, and CBS followed along as one young couple tried to buy their piece of it.
His name is Corbett Rochelle. Since last July, he and his wife Sally have visited many real estate offices like this one.
The Rochelles knew exactly what they wanted, a 4-bedroom home in Bergen County, New Jersey, one of New York City's most desirable suburbs. And as it happens, the very same place where my grandfather had found a home just a decade earlier.
The Rochelle search began in the usual way with the local newspaper.
But as Corbett and Sally visited real estate offices and asked to see properties, they ran into a problem my grandfather did not.
Well, I have to call him and tell him that you are colored.
As CBS documented in this rare hidden camera footage, the Rochelles were repeatedly turned away.
So what do you have that you can show me today?
Nothing in this price range. Nothing at all.
And in case there was any doubt about the exact nature of this problem, CBS cameras also documented what happened when white home buyers were sent in to ask about the very same properties.
Let's take a ride. I'll take you over to one we have in development and show you that.
What the Rochelles experienced was a practice known as steering, a way of excluding black buyers from white neighborhoods. Prior to the Fair Housing Act of 1968, it wasn't only common, but legal, and very often life-changing. So to find out what happened to the Rochelles and how it compared to the experience of families like my own, we tracked down Corbett and Sally's only child, Alicia, only 11 at the time, and asked her to re-watch that original report.
Not wanted.
It wasn't always easy.
I've wondered often as I've gone from one real estate agency to the other, if people realize the many embarrassing situations and questions that you have to go through as a Negro, sometimes even humiliating.
Do you recognize that expression on your father's face?
Yeah, it's disgust. Yeah.
Did he ever find the house?
No. We moved out of New Jersey.
Your family spent at least 6 months and up to several years
Yeah, oh yeah.
with plenty of money looking to buy a home in Bergen County, New Jersey, and never did.
Nope. Nope, they sure didn't.
What that means is the Rochelles missed out on one of the biggest real estate booms in the country. Home prices in Bergen County have jumped as much as sixfold, even after correcting for inflation. For families like mine, who were able to make the investment, that money has helped pay for everything, from my grandparents' retirement to Florida to the travel I did as a college student.
Push that top one over.
For Alicia and her own 3 kids, that kind of generational cushion just was not available.
There wasn't a whole lot planned for them. They had no insurance. It was, yeah,
Did you say your parents died with no money?
no money.
No money.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
And it's really sad, but it is what it is.
What do you do with the fact that this house that they could not buy in Bergen County is almost definitely worth $750,000 or even $1 million today, and your family doesn't have it because of nothing more than racism?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that we haven't had because of racism.
Yeah.
The house is just a very small part of it.
That's a lot of money, though.
It may be, but money's not everything.
So when you think of this whole story, and you think of your folks here who had all the money they needed to buy a home in one of the hottest housing markets in the country and were denied only because of the color of their skin, what kind of story is this?
I don't know. It's a story of our country.
All right, Alicia.
It is
I
a
mean,
story of our
people always say, well, that was then and this is now, but you're still paying for that was then.
No doubt.
That's what's so frustrating about this. And I can only imagine what it must have been like for her to see her father talking about being humiliated and being embarrassed because you're still paying the price.
People sometimes say that stuff is ancient.
Okay, as you did see there, that there is a disadvantage when you do not have a home that you can build wealth and pass down to generation. They experience it because of racism, but so many times we do not plan for the opportunity. And as you see, the young man who had this, they were able to retire in Florida, which probably was a nice retirement, and he was able to travel in college. So when you have generational wealth, you're actually helping that generation below you and yourself to actually live comfortably. And home ownership is one of those ways of doing that. So generational wealth is the kind of financial assistance that passes down to children and grandchildren, and it makes life a little easier as everyone continues to live. And it can be in different forms, such as cash or stocks and bonds or property, such as owning a home. In order to have generational wealth, you need to have some short-term and long-term goals. Short-term goals is something that you can achieve within 1 year. And an example of a short-term goal is to start saving. And as Kimberly said, you can even use your refund to start that savings account and just have a way of saving every so often. And you may want to do a direct deposit so that every time you get paid, that money will go into that account. That money can be used towards helping with purchasing a home. Another thing you can do is pay off debt, because if your credit report has debt on it, a mortgage company is going to say you need to pay it off. So you want to concentrate on that. Or you can attend a home buyer class. So these are some of the short-term goals that you can actually obtain. Long-term goals, these are things that you can achieve in 5 years. Again, you may want to pay off some debt, such as student loan, or pay it down, or purchasing a home may also be a long-term goal. So some ways that you can maintain your home financially and physically, because you want to be able to maintain it yourself so that you can pass it down. And one way is to have an emergency fund in case of job loss, sickness, pandemic, or anything that is unexpected. And again, you can start small and continue to grow that fund. You want to make sure that you have the proper insurances, such as health insurance, life insurance, disability insurance, long-term care insurance. You may not need all of them, but you definitely want to talk to an insurance expert to see what is best for you, so that if life happens, which it will, you would have the insurance to cover so that you will continue to maintain your home. Another thing you want to do is look at estate planning. Make sure you have a will or trust, and consult an attorney for this. You want to make sure that when you are no longer here and you have this home that you want your family to enjoy, that someone, your administrator, will have the same values that you have, so that that home can stay in the family. For example, you need someone to make sure that your taxes are paid every year. You want to make sure that you have someone who will, if the mortgage is not paid, that mortgage is paid. You want to make sure that you have a beneficiary who will make sure that that is done. Because if you have life insurance, you have a beneficiary, that person needs to make sure that that house is paid off or paid down, so that you will not have to worry about, well, not you, but your family will not have to worry about that in the future. Another thing you want to do is share your wishes with your family, including the person who is going to be the beneficiary, because that person is going to be responsible for making sure that your wishes are carried out. Next. And again, one of the easiest way to build wealth is by budgeting your income tax refund. You can start an emergency fund. You can pay off existing debt. You can use down payment assistance. You can use your refund for down payment assistance and closing costs, or you could use it for any other building platform that you may need. But do not pay anyone to do your taxes. As Kimberly said, we can do it for you, and it will not cost you anything. One of the things that you can do, again, short term, is to attend a first-time home buyer class. Here in Savannah, most of the classes are free, but there are other places where there's a charge for them. And some of the things that you will learn in the class will be understanding credit and budgeting, the mortgage lending process, the homeowner's insurance, home inspections, fair housing, and the closing process. At the end of each class, you will receive a certificate, and that certificate will be used to help with their down payment assistance. That certificate is good for 1 year. So to attend the class, it is very easy. You just, like if you want to attend Neighborhood Improvement Association's class, you can go to our website, which is www.niacdc.org, or you can call us at 912-447-5577. NIA has 2 more classes this year. One is November 19th, the other December 10th. Both are at Moses Jackson Advancement Center. And there are 2 other organizations that also offer these classes, and that is EOA and Consumers Credit Counseling. And one thing I want to really encourage you is do not get discouraged if you have to take a class more than once, because each time you will learn more information, and it may take you 3 years to purchase a home. It may take 5 years, but just do not give up. Okay, and as an affordable housing developer, these are some of the houses that we built for individuals who use the down payment assistance through the Dream Makers, and they now own their home. Oh, and that is it. Again, I am Deborah Simmons with Neighborhood Improvement Association, and there you see our information there. We would love to help you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Iris Bryant, and I work for the City of Savannah Housing and Neighborhood Services Department. Currently, we're located at 5515 Abercorn Street here in Savannah, Georgia. Next. The City of Savannah Housing and Neighborhood Services Department helps to make homeownership dreams come true. The Dream Maker program helps with down payment, closing costs, and closing attorney fees. The other part that we help with is what we call gap financing. So if say that you're pre-approved for a house for $170, and we're providing $35,000 currently on a first come first basis. And if you're only pre-approved, say for the $170 and the house that you're looking for is selling for $190, you can take that $20,000 of the $35,000 to help with the gap financing difference, which I think is really awesome. The Dream Maker program is designed for first-time home buyers. The definition of a first-time home buyer is someone who has not owned a home in the past 3 years. The Dream Maker program is based on income limits and household size to determine eligibility. The Dream Maker program, it is a 30-year interest-free deferred loan. What does that mean to you? It means that you don't have to repay the loan until 30 years from the date that you close on your home. And you're right, I said interest-free for 30 years. The Dream Maker program, we want you to be successful at paying off your home, which is a 30-year mortgage to pay back with the City of Savannah. Some of the ways that you can pay us back within the 30-year period to avoid paying any type of interest to us. Number one is your tax refund. Oftentimes people have a bucket list of creditors that they would like to either pay down or pay off that particular debt. So you can add the City of Savannah to your bucket list. Another way would be when you are provided cash for special occasions, such as a birthday, graduated from college, or any type of income or assets that you've received from friends and family. Another way that you can pay our loan is the extra cash that you've received. Sometimes individuals work part-time jobs to help them with the goals that they're trying to set when trying to become a homeowner. So those are the ways that you can really pay off the DreamMaker loan. And remember, it's interest-free for 30 years. As I mentioned earlier, we look at household size and the max gross income. So generally, we're looking at the combined gross income of 80% or less of the area median income as established by HUD. So on the chart below, we're showing you the household size. We're also providing the max gross annual income the household size can have. So as you can see, for a household size of 1, the max income is $46,700, which is awesome. Each year, HUD reviews the income in the areas and increase the amount. So if you didn't qualify, say for 2022, you may qualify for the DreamMaker program in 2023. So revisit and check in with us if for some reason you didn't qualify. One of the things that we're really excited about is that if the mother is expecting a baby and you have a household size of 2, because you're expecting a bundle of joy, we will actually look at the income of a household size of 3. Thank you, Kimberly. We look at, to determine eligibility, the program requires that we count all household income that will be received for the next 12 months. We look at the wages from all employments, including side jobs where there is cash deposited. We look at child support, spousal support, pension, retirement, and Social Security. The DreamMaker program, you can purchase your home. It has to be in the city limits of Savannah, not the county limits, but the city limits. And so oftentimes people do not realize the city limits is a vast area. And so when working with a realtor, the realtor will pull up houses in your price point in the city limits of Savannah. So don't be fearful that you don't know where where the city limits consist of. That realtor will help you with that, and we can guide you with it as well. So no worries. We have a team of professionals working to assist you. With the DreamMaker program, we do have property requirements. The house must meet the City of Savannah adopted housing code prior to purchase. We do require that you get a home inspection done. And the purpose of the home inspection is to kind of lay out for you what major repairs may be required in the next year or two. For instance, if it's the roof, the home inspector may say, hey, you may want to have the roof checked out by a roofer, because it could be that this roof, you're going to need to replace it in 2 to 3 years. So that is a major repair. So before you really purchase a home, you really would like to know what expenses you will be faced with in the very near future. Once you receive the inspection, you will provide it to us, and we will have one of our inspectors to go out to the property to make sure that that property meets the city code. The property can be acquired, can be owner occupied, which means, say, if I own the home and I'm selling it, I'm the owner and I still live there. The property can be vacant. I own the property and I have moved out. Or it can be occupied by the current applicant. Oftentimes we have an individual that is currently renting a home and they would like to purchase the house that they're currently renting. And you can do that as well. I mentioned earlier that currently the DreamMaker program is providing $35,000 in assistance because we realize the cost of houses have risen and individuals' income is not keeping up with the cost of housing. So we are providing $35,000 on a first come first basis. You must be under contract in order for us to provide the money. Traditionally, we provide $5,000 to $7,500. So we decided to do 35, and we're very excited that we have been able to help individuals to also buy down their interest rate because we're providing additional funding. As Deborah mentioned earlier, we do partner with NIA in helping us to provide affordable housing for our clients. So you're not buying a house from the city. You're buying a house from the developer or the builder. They're the owners of the property, and we're providing down payment assistance. And remember, we partner with lenders. The lenders are making you the big loan to purchase the home. We're making you a loan for your down payment and closing costs. So you heard the old saying, you must have some skin in the game. So when you're purchasing your home, we require that the home buyer invest a minimum of $1,000 into their home. You can do this by the earnest money check, your private home inspection costs, and the appraisal costs, which tells the lender the value of the property. When you invest and spend that money up front, all of that goes towards your $1,000 investment. So no worries. How do you apply for the DreamMaker program? You go online at www.savannahga.gov/housing and click on the DreamMaker program. Or I can email you an application and we can put one in the mail to your home. One of the things that we're very passionate about is the city provides down payment assistance, and you can layer other down payment programs with the DreamMaker. There is Federal Home Loan Bank that can be layered. There is Georgia Dream. Now remember, because you qualify for one down payment assistance doesn't mean that you qualify for all. So in working with us, we will let you know if there's other down payment programs out there and the lenders that can do the down payment assistance. The City of Savannah, our department, oversee the down payment assistance program for city employees. We oversee St. Joseph Candler down payment assistance and Memorial Health. So as you can see, we're very passionate about helping individuals. If you work for an employer that would like to participate in our program, please feel free for them to reach out, and we will help and guide them as to how they can start a down payment assistance program for their employees. Again, my name is Iris Bryant. It has been a pleasure speaking with everyone. And remember, generational wealth is a plus for generations to come. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ms. Deborah and Ms. Iris, for the presentation and the information. At this time, we will take questions from anybody from the audience. Are there any questions? I'm checking the Q&A. I don't see any from the audience. Rachel, do you see any online on Facebook?
No, we have not had any questions on Facebook.
Okay, thank you. I do have a question though. Again, thank you so much for the information. And this could be for both of you. So when I was looking at that income slide, my question and a question I think folks may have is that income limit like the max income that they can make, or do they have to make that amount to be able to qualify for the 30-year interest-free loan? And is there a minimum that they have to, like, is there a range? So like if they're making $0 and they don't have any income coming in, I'm assuming they're not going to get that loan. And can you explain that a little bit more?
I'll be happy to, Kimberly. So that is the max amount for the household size. So that's the max. When it comes to the minimal, that's determined by your current debts and the amount of house that you will be able to purchase. So we are in a high interest rate environment. Mortgage payments have risen because, as you know, the Fed has recently increased the interest rates again. And we're looking at 7.5 to 7.75. So a person's income, what they currently make, is going to determine how much of house they will be able to purchase based on income and what current debts they currently have.
Okay, that's super
So we
helpful.
don't turn anyone away, but we do make them aware that you do have to have enough income to support the house payments in your current debts.
Right. Okay, that's helpful information. Ms. Deborah, is there like a wise income range to start the home ownership or home buying classes, first time home buyer classes? Or is it for anybody? And then what's the time frame? Can you repeat? I'm not sure if you said it earlier, but repeat the time frame between like the home buyer classes and the actual mortgage, or the actual time they buy the house. You're on mute. Here.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
There is no time between attending the classes and purchasing a home. It just depends on the individual person. A lot of people who come to our class, they give themselves, and we do a one-on-one counseling with them. And I can do that because I am a HUD certified housing counselor. Most of them say, I want to give myself a year. So they kind of come up with the goal of when they want to do it. So it's not really a particular time that they have to purchase a home. The only thing is their certificate may expire. And if it does, the worst case scenario is they would just take the class again. And the class is free.
Okay, and how long does it take for the certificate to expire?
It's a year.
A year, you said a year, okay, sorry. All right, well, that's super helpful. And so we do have another question.
Okay. Oh, I wanted to add, Kimberly,
Yeah, go ahead.
that the question about the length of time that it would take a person, as Deborah explained, it depends on where the client is in their financial scenario, meaning have they established credit already, or they have not established credit? Do they have credit but need to pay down bills to lower their debt ratio?
Mhm.
And if they have credit and have not been paying their bills on time due to some unusual circumstances to where they would need to get their credit scores up. So it really depends on the client and where they are with their financial picture. That really dictates how long it will take. And then we have some individuals that have already maybe worked on their credit and they've talked to a lender before and now they're ready. You know, some people, it may take them a year, 2 years, and they're ready to move forward. So we lay out the roadmap for them on suggestions on what they can do, and they don't have to pay someone to help them with their credit. We can educate how to read a credit report and some of the things that you can do by using Credit Karma, by disputing some things. It's a free service. But if once they have someone that can guide them through that credit report, they can really do it themselves. And the money that they're paying, they could actually have paid off a bill that they may have been delinquent on.
That's great. That's a great information. And I like that you guys can help folks with the credit piece because that's such a key component to this home ownership process, right?
Yes.
And I think that's very, very important, trying to learn how to like build that credit up. So that's a great service. We do have a question in the Q&A, and they have asked, is there this or any part of the program for refinancing a home?
Unfortunately, it is not. It is for first-time home buyers.
Okay.
So not in refinancing, no. Unfortunately not.
Okay. And then there's another question that wants to know if there's someone that they can contact for more personal questions. So I will drop the contact information in the chat that you can pull. We can also put it on Facebook as well. But so we'll drop Miss Iris and Miss Deborah's information. That's okay.
Okay, perfect.
Sure.
Thank you.
All righty. Are there any other questions? So I guess to end, if there's no other questions, what's one key takeaway that you would want folks to know from this presentation? So we'll start with Ms. Iris.
Okay. Oftentimes, clients share with me that they are the first person to purchase a home in their family, and they do not have the knowledge or understanding how the process works. And when you have people like myself, Deborah Simmons, Step Up Savannah, Consumer Credit Counseling, EOA, and a professional realtor. As my father used to tell me, there is no dumb question, but to pretend that you know the answer and you don't. It's very critical that you ask lots of questions, take notes when the information is being provided, because you're not going to remember everything that's been said to you. So we do tell people when they call, do you have a pen and paper? So that you can take notes as we explain this process. The other thing is that we're here to guide them through the entire process. Say, for instance, I pre-approved them for DreamMaker, but based on their scenario, I can also help them with making a recommendation of a lender that can help them based on their scenario. And that is how we refer a client. It's based on your scenario, because all lenders are not equal. All lenders do not participate in down payment assistance program. So when you're speaking with the loan officer, you must explain to them that you're looking to, you need down payment assistance before you start giving people your social security number. Okay, because if someone pulls your credit and they don't participate in down payment assistance, then they would have pulled your credit for no reason. So tell your story, share your story with your lender so they can fully understand what you need in this process.
Awesome. Thank you so much. What about you, Miss Deborah?
Okay, a couple of takeaways. Number one, as I stated earlier, I would encourage anyone to please take advantage of the VITA program. It is a program that is initiated by the IRS. It's been around for over 50 years, so it is a very strong program. And we just encourage people to use the program because it is very beneficial. The other thing is, I encourage anyone to please do not get discouraged. It may be a long process. You may have to do some things with your credit, as Iris stated. You may have to save some money, but you can use your, if you're getting a refund, you can use that refund as a springboard to actually accelerate your opportunity of purchasing a home. And just know that sometimes timing is very important. This may not be your time right now. Make sure that you have the right time in order to get a home. Don't let anyone pressure you into getting a home when you're not ready.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thanks again for the presentation and information.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Absolutely. So we just want to remind everyone that this video and so much more great information will be on YouTube. And so you can go and check it out if you want to watch this video after today. It will also be on our Facebook page as well. And we also have some other great information on our all of our social media. So you can type in @StepUpSavannah and you'll be able to find that information. We also want to give a special thank you to our sponsors, particularly Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and the City of Savannah for sponsoring this event. We could not do this without you. And that concludes our presentation for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.